Welcome to Unstoppable Podcast with Harry Sardinas, inspiring conversations with influential millionaires, investors, thought leaders, entrepreneurs who are making a massive difference with their innovative products and services, and sharing the challenges and the wisdom of how they sold their first million.
Hello, how would you like to achieve your first million in sales? And we continue with this podcast series, Unstoppable, how you too can achieve your first million in sales, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And for that, today we have a special guest that's going to be sharing with us exactly that, the good, the bad, the ugly, and the funny, to become an entrepreneur, and that yes, probably you can achieve at some point in your life over a million in sales, but this it counts with hard work sometimes. So Sid, can you please introduce yourself?
Of course, as you mentioned, I'm Sid. I am an old guy who's been around the block, and I have built a number of companies. I've made investments in a number of companies. I've advised the Fortune 500 CEOs and executive teams for a long time, and I am now a university professor. I write about
Wow.
entrepreneurship, and I have a couple of books that deals with entrepreneurship and the path to being authentic in that road.
Tell us the names of the books so everybody can that listening can.
Sure. The first one is it's called The Caterpillar's Edge,
Mhm.
and it's about how we're addicted to sameness a lot of times, and it discusses how we have to essentially like a caterpillar, being a success. It's not like flipping a switch and turning on the light. Like caterpillar doesn't become a butterfly overnight. It
Exactly.
takes time. It is dangerous. There's all that sort of stuff.
Exactly,
And
and that one is very important because they I love the title because when the caterpillar turn into a butterfly, what happened is a transformation process.
absolutely.
So it's a transformation. So the butterfly cannot come back to caterpillar.
But here's the thing. The first thing that a butterfly does is lays the egg for the next
Ah,
caterpillar.
wow.
So this is, if you go back to my background and look, one of the things I believe in, and is that we're the art and we're the artist. We're also creating our next best version. It's never perfect.
Mm, interesting.
So we're
And
constantly kind of evolving. So that's the first book, The Caterpillar's Edge: Evolve, Evolve Again, and Thrive in Business. And the second one, which is mostly about the mindset of entrepreneurship, is called "You Are Not Them."
ah,
We
wow.
are we are in a culture that everybody compares and says, "Oh, look at the Elon Musk, he did this. Look at this guy. Look at that guy." And we have a lot of how-to books, how to
Mm-hmm.
market, how to do accounting, how to do this, how to do that. But the fact is, we're not them.
Yeah.
We're not others, and we have to figure out our own authentic self in order to be able to achieve greatness, our own entrepreneurial philosophy. The idea is
Exactly.
that you could
Wow.
have a lot of
Title is
how
very
to.
profound, yeah?
You could have a lot of how tos. It's like a chef. I
Mm,
can give you the spices, I can give you the pots and the pans and the oven and all of that, but that doesn't make you a chef.
exactly.
A good chef has his own way of making a great,
A great
delicious food.
food, yeah?
So that's the second book, and it works. It helps folks think through, and I call it. I'm in the business of provoking people. I can't even motivate you. Motivation is something internal. I can only provoke you.
Yeah. No, we're coming
And
back because of the motivation. Some people come and speak with me and say, Harry, let's do do a motivational speech. And I always telling them that there is an issue with the motivational speeches. It's because the people get motivated and then they get demotivated. it's better to do a transformational speech, right?
Correct.
So they can transform, they can have something that they can take away. Make sense?
And that comes from internal mindset.
Exactly.
It's
Yeah.
not, hey, I won the Olympic gold medal, and now I'm going to tell you how to be courageous. Well, good for you. I'm not you.
Yeah. And then but let's start from the beginning, right? So what defined you for you to become an entrepreneur? What was uh, how you decided that you're
So,
gonna
Harry,
open?
I'm gonna probably challenge some of the conventional wisdom that your audience may have.
Go for it.
I was
We love
always an
challenges.
entrepreneur. I was always an entrepreneur. You don't become an entrepreneur.
Ah,
You are
wow.
an entrepreneur.
Ah,
Because the
wow.
definition of entrepreneurship, Harry, is this is in the 1700s. The first time the
Really?
word entrepreneur was defined by a guy in France, uh, Jean Paul Say, and he says, an entrepreneur is someone who has something, who aims, who decides to exchange that with something of higher value. You have something, could be an idea, could be your time, it could be a product. You're trying to exchange that with something of higher value. About 50 years later, another guy came in from Ireland and added this definition that, oh, it's something that you have that you want to exchange with something higher value, knowing that there is risk.
Mm.
Okay? So we all do that.
Add the risk part to it, yeah?
We all do that, Harry. We're trying to all. It's in our DNA to exchange what we have with something better. What we choose is better is up to us. So I would say maybe yes. Elon Musk is an entrepreneur. He chooses to exchange his creativity, his hard work, his genius, whatever you want to call it, with money. Somebody else may be Mother Teresa, a Gandhi, who exchanges what they have, their capabilities, with something
With
better, but they
kindness,
define what
right?
is better. But they define better. So every
Every
immigrant is
value
an
that you
entrepreneur.
give a society is an entrepreneur. It's not only have to be a change for money. I agree 100%.
Absolutely. So the
Yeah.
thing is, entrepreneurship is not about money. It's about realizing your ability to exchange what you have, your situation, whoever you are, with something better. Now, if you realize that, then you are a practicing entrepreneur. If you don't, your entrepreneurship is hidden with you. You don't realize that you have a choice. You don't realize that you can be better. You can build something. You have, every one of us, have the potential to go from a caterpillar to a butterfly again and again and again. But we have to have the willingness and the acknowledgement that we are inherently an entrepreneur and we're trying to exchange who we are with something better.
So how from where did it came from? If it come from your family, from the TV, from for a role model, who you you decided that you're an entrepreneur? What happened?
So see, here's the thing. I would say, for
Somebody
example,
told you something.
no,
What happened?
I think what I'm telling you is a 30-year conclusion of all the stuff that I've done and read hundreds of books about entrepreneurship. But there are studies. There are studies from 500 years ago. This is a Texas A&M University study. 500,000 years ago, humans built this gene in them. And this is a gene in all of us. That's not a gene to survive, it's a gene to thrive. We have this gene in us, in our DNA, to become something better. That's all of us. So again, and the definition is different. Now, how do I know? It's a look in the past and kind of connecting the dots. You know, every immigrant is an entrepreneur. They exchange what they have, and they're trying to get it for something better. That's why they pull from one place and go another place
Yeah, and they have
because they
different
want a better
businesses.
life. They're exchanging what they have with something better.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I remember my first experience as an entrepreneur. Like it was like by accident, right? I just start my property business, and all of a sudden, okay, I renting the room, I'm making some profit. Oh my God, I'm in business. But then, is you're right, 100%. From making a little bit of money to become an entrepreneur, it has to be in your DNA. And I agree 100% with you. My parents are teachers, so it didn't come from the house. It didn't come from, honestly, from anywhere. It's when I
So,
had the
Harry, see, this
chance.
is the thing I want you to change your perspective. Your parents did a different kind of an exchange.
And
They did work. They got pleasure. I'm a professor at university, so I get this feeling. When I go to the class and some student, and I don't need the money to be teaching. I love teaching. And it's that
me too.
thing, that thing you see in their eyes. When it clicks, you say, all of my hard work has paid off. Somebody got it. I
Mhm.
have impacted somebody's life. And that is $1 million exchange. That's a fantastic feeling. They chose to exchange their capabilities, who they are, with that feeling. You then took that learning that they have exchanged and you took it in your own way, which is phenomenal, which is wonderful.
I agree 100% with you. I think that when we talk about fulfillment, especially as entrepreneur, yeah, a lot of people out there, and maybe you guys are listening the podcast, right? And everybody, they're thinking, okay, I'm gonna make a million, I'm gonna make a million, and they focus all the entrepreneurial journey in that goal. And what happened, what you they wanna realize very quickly is that, the first time that we achieve the million mark only lasts 24 hours. It's, it's not, you thinking that's going to give you a lot of fulfillment, but at the end of the day, after 24 hours, 2 days maximum, we are like, okay, let's keep
So,
working,
Harry,
let's
there is
keep
a
doing
difference.
something. However,
You're absolutely right.
yeah,
There's
however,
a difference,
when,
Harry, there's a difference between success and satisfaction. Success
mhm,
is defined by others. Oh,
mhm,
this guy is a PhD. This
mhm,
guy is a millionaire. This guy is
mhm,
a professor. This
mhm.
guy is a doctor. This guy is an attorney. This guy is a great singer. It's defined by the society. But what we, each one of us, define is satisfaction. And
100%.
satisfaction is internal. We define satisfaction, the society defines success. When we focus on satisfaction, then it's not $1 million thing. It's I've achieved something
Yeah,
and
I
I can
give
achieve
you.
more.
And at the end of the day, I think it's in the nature of the human beings that the level of fulfillment, that when somebody look into your eye, like you say, your students, and you see that you're making a difference in the people's life. Yes, we do a lot of conference around the world, and sometimes here I'm walking on the street in London, and some people hold me by the hand. Are you Harry? Harry, you changed my life. I saw your speech. I said, which one? No, you don't remember. 3 years ago, I was there. Where? But you say something, and I apply it. And look, now I have my business. These are my children. I'm very happy. Thank you so much. And I always tell them, you guys made my day today, because the feeling that you get out of this, there is no money. Same, I agree 100% with you. There is no money that can compare with that level of fulfillment, because you are making, you feel like that your work is making a difference in other people, and that could be even more. uh, it will give you happiness. I think that people said that money can give you happiness. I don't think that money can give you happiness. What I can actually make you very happy is to make an impact on people's life. This will give you, in my opinion, it will give you a level of fulfillment, a level of joy, a level of satisfaction that
No, there's
no money
nothing
can buy.
wrong with making money. Don't get me wrong.
Of course, of course,
Not having
of
money
course.
would make you miserable. Having
Uh,
money doesn't bring you happiness, but it eliminates a lot of issues with poverty.
yeah,
If you don't have insurance, that's an issue. If you don't have a house and
you
something
cannot.
is leaking, it's an issue. It stops you from being creative. It stops you from being productive. Yes, having money is okay.
Of course, it's very
Good.
important.
But defining what your happiness is and what your satisfaction is different than having money. I need a car to go from point A to point B, but my car doesn't define me. I define the car.
Mhm. Exactly.
We
Yeah.
need vehicles to be able to accomplish what we want and what we makes us satisfied. But the vehicle is not the goal.
Mhm. So tell us the what are the subjects that you cover when you're teaching your students?
Well, it's
What are you
it's
teaching
funny.
them?
Well, I've in the
Lifetime of
past
experience?
in the past I've taught a lot of different topics from venture capital to
Oh wow.
strategy to finance. But now I teach both in the engineering school and in the business school at the University of Southern California at USC in California, in Los Angeles. And I'll tell you about what I talk about. I talk about things that have to do with creative and with critical thinking. That
Oh
is,
wow.
it's not about having a series of tools or knowledge to be able to strategize perfectly for business. It's about applying your critical thinking and focusing on certain things. For example, my some of the recent work that I'm doing is this notion of shifting from outcome to reasons. So let me explain. People buy, we don't sell. Companies think that we're selling something, but the decision to give you the money and get your product or your services is entirely theirs. We have no control over that except saying, here's our value proposition. Please make a decision. And if their reasoning says, yeah, I like it, then they make the decision to buy your product. The same thing happens with employees. We are under the illusion that we hire people, we give them a job. But the reality is, in their mind, you say, hey, here's $100,000 for this position. They then calculate, oh, my rent is this, this job is close to me, it has good benefits, my children are sick, my wife doesn't want to work, and hey, I'm worth $200,000, so I don't work after 5 o'clock. Or they say, this is such a great thing. I'm going to be awake at 3 o'clock in the morning and thinking about your business. They make the choice of what they bring to the table. You don't make that choice. The same thing about partners, the same thing about investors, and the same thing about our relationship with the society. So, one of the things is don't focus on the outcome, focus on the reason. If you figure out the reason and you could provide with people with the reason, they will buy, they will bring productivity, they will be good partners, they will invest in you, and they will embrace you as a community.
Yeah, we find a lot in our team members, the people that work with us. Yeah, we have engineers, IT directors working with us that that we sometimes we ask them, guys, why you still around? Even by working for us with so many years, you go to another company that will pay you a fortune, even more than what we can pay you. Why you guys are still around? And they always telling us the same thing. I say, Harry, we love to work with you. They are here because they love to work with us. They love
Yeah.
what we do. They love that we're empowering people. They love what we do, and that's why they come into work. It's like 100%
Yeah.
what
So
what you said. Even the sometimes the with the employees, right? Is again, it's like you said. If you have a proposal that have a lot of value for them, apart from the financially, right? A more 360 value, they will engage and they will produce more, right?
not because of you, because of them.
Exactly.
They'll do it because they're satisfied. So people say, "Oh, you
It
have
gives
to
them
make it
satisfaction to do it, right?
correct." So people say there's a lot of business uh, theories about this notion that you have to make people belong to an organization. I would say it's the opposite. You have to belong to them. It's the opposite. The opposite is we only control what value we deliver. We don't control the reasons. We don't make them belong to us. We provide the right reasoning, and they would then make the choice. They Customers make that choice, employees make that choice in order to make you successful because they are successful,
Yeah. Yeah,
because they
because
get what they want.
exactly. So because it's not about forcing an outcome, because trying to force an outcome in business is not gonna work. At the end of the day, they need to be enrolled. They have to be enrolled in your product, in your service, in your idea, in your mission, and yeah, and reverse. And I think that a lot of things we find is that to turn around the situation, that rather than you go after the customer comes to you, right? To
They
make
come to you because you have the right value. See, like, you're in the speaking business. It's not what you say that's important. This may sound a little silly. It's not what you say that's important. It's what they hear that's
what they
important.
believe, yeah.
What they hear, what they listen to, what they take inside. It's
Mm,
not what you may have the most phenomenal theories and whatever. It's irrelevant. What matters is what they hear, what they take to heart.
yeah, even
That person you were just mentioning that saw you on the street and says, "Hey, it wasn't what you said. You may have said 1,000 things, but that guy at that moment took that piece of word and translated into what made him or her move to a different place, realize a different exchange. It's what they hear, it's what they accept that's important."
yeah, basically we have this organization as speakers and leaders, right? And down the line we find out that the people around the organization is because they believe what we believe. I believe that the speakers are leaders, right? But the people that they are around, they believe also that not for me, they believe for themselves, and that's why they are around.
That's right. That's right.
That's really interesting. Now, Professor, the in your experience, right? What do you think that would be the five elements that everything can enter, the five steps that every single entrepreneur out there, it doesn't matter in their open a small restaurant or any type of business, what would be the five step that in your opinion they should be focusing, and that we help them to achieve the first million. We always talk about this mark, about to achieve the first million in sales, because we believe that when after the entrepreneur arrive to this phase, then things become a little bit more stable, because they are not dependent on the client anymore. Between 0 to the first million, you are in a process that sometimes if you don't have a client, you don't have a business, and you're trying to figure out everything. But when you hit that million mark, I think pretty much the entrepreneur already have this 80% of what's going. His product is already selling. He's making profit. He's making this. He's making that. He has good margin. So with a few adjustments, he can scale, right? But to make the 0 to the first million, which is, I think, in my opinion, the hardest part of the whole equation. What do you, in your experience, what would be the five steps that everybody
So
listening
there's
to
there's
us
there's
should
a couple
follow?
of ways. Sure, sure. There's a couple of ways of looking at it. So first thing, it seems like the first million is the most difficult because uh, we're facing a challenge, a new product, a new thing. We may
And
not
you're trying
have
to
the
sell it,
tolerance
and
for the risk. We don't have the we don't. But it's easier to go from 0 to 80% than it is to go from 80% to 90%
oh
because
wow,
it requires a different set of skills. It requires
yes,
maturity. It requires different people. But let's talk about what you wanted to talk about the five things. So the first thing is um, when I started the first year that in my the first year in the last year in college, I started a business and I sold them.
Wow.
And then I started working for a consulting firm. The first year in the consulting firm, I worked 3,600 billable hours. Now, in a year, you have 2,080 hours. So I worked close to 1.5 year extra
Wow.
in a single year. Okay.
Wow.
So I worked 3,600 hours, 1,600 hours extra in a single year. So I believe in hard work. I believe in hard work. And there is a difference. The difference is you're hard working and you're learning, not just working for the sake of working. You're expanding your knowledge, you're gaining new tricks, you're doing new things. Unfortunately, a lot of the younger generation nowadays don't believe in the hard work. They believe that they have to get there fast, and this is a lot of hoopla that they see on TV. How
And they want to be
Zuckerberg did this, that guy did that.
rich and famous in the easy way. Yeah.
Correct. You know, I put some things on an influencer site, and boom, I'm rich. But sustainable, continued success, I believe, and I would recommend, is in hard work. Now, purposeful hard work. That is, you're not just running around. There is a purpose to your hard work. You're learning things and doing things. So that would be my first thing. The second is,
Yeah, hold on, because I would like to expand in this one, Sid, because
sure.
people think, oh, hard work, and they looking as sometimes as negative connotation. But what all the entrepreneurs have to realize, right, that is when you are in business, you need to develop skills, like everything, right? Like when you drive a car, or you learn how to swim. Now, the issue with the skills is that the more you practice, the better you become. There is no other way around. When you start to drive a car, you didn't know how to drive it properly, but because you drive every single day, now people drive and they also speak on the phone, right? Same with swimming. You take a book and you read how to swim, you go to the pool, it's not gonna work because it's a skill. So when you speaking about hard work, I think that what everybody needs to be aware, right, is that this hard work, what it's doing, is you are sharpening your skills, and there is no another way around. The more you do it, the better you become. There is no way. And there are and to be an entrepreneur, you have to develop a lot of skills, not only one. You have to develop several, because even if you don't like sales or you don't like accounting or whatever, you do need to know the very basics of that to
Yeah,
be.
so people say, "Oh, I'm an idea guy. I'm a people guy. I'm a sales guy." No, if you're an entrepreneur, you have to understand the numbers. You have to understand sales. You have to understand every piece of the business.
Yeah.
Now, then you can delegate as you get and get people who are better than you in accounting. But you have to understand what the heck they're talking about. You don't need to all be Bill Gates in terms of technology, but you have to understand how to use it and where it's effective. So, I agree with you. The
Other-
second thing, Harry, is what I would say being true to yourself. You could say being authentic. Uh, I believe, and has helped me, it's that I'm not perfect and I will never be perfect.
Mhm.
Perfection is a myth. And this is a journey. And along the journey, it's the pursuit of happiness and that satisfaction. I'm not 100% there, but I'm building the next stage. And if you think about it's a journey, I'm building things. You don't get dissatisfied quickly because
Mhm.
people think, oh, I had a plan to make this by the third month. Well, it didn't work. Oh, why didn't it work? So what am I gonna do? Well, 90% it won't work.
Mhm. And
So
then and
being
then the
true to
other thing,
yourself and knowing your limitations and knowing that things don't necessarily work and being authentic and looking at things as a pursuit of happiness and not the right of being happy, not the obligation of the world for to make you happy. Not it's not just because you open a restaurant or you open a business, any business, that tomorrow morning you're not going to do anything but go golfing. That doesn't work. It's not real. It's an illusion.
But let's stop there because let's talk about perfection because this is something that all entrepreneurs out there, right? We talk about being perfect, but I remember that the first time that we launched a product, uh, it was not us that perfect the product, it was the client. We saw that the product was good as it is, but then the client was telling us, no, this is not good like this. You need to do it like this, otherwise I don't buy, and you need to do it like this. So it's no point to us being a perfection, thinking what they want. It's better to put it out there imperfect and listen to them. They
That's
will
where I
help you
talk
to, they
about
will
that
polish it for
reason.
you, right?
Yeah. So, Harry, that's when I talk about focusing on the reasons. If you figure out the reasons of why people why they want what you want, they will buy. You don't need to have 17, bullshitter salespeople who are, bamboozling people. That's not good business. That's not good business. If you may make a few sales, but you have a lot of unhappy people that got something they didn't want. So that's what I was referring to as focusing on the reasons and not the outcomes.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so that's one and two: hard work and being true to yourself, not trying to be perfect. I would say the third thing is being aware of timing. You know,
Wow, timing. Just
timing, and achievability. Here's what I mean. Entrepreneurs, and I talk about this in my book, the "You Are Not Them" book. Uh, Entrepreneurship, and even anything in life, is about being a dancer. Being a dancer means sometimes you're choreographed and sometimes you improvise. And you have to realize when is the time to do one, and markets define the timing. Customers define the timing. Your abilities define the timing. It doesn't mean that I don't have big goals. I could have big goals, but I'm not going to get there tomorrow. What is the timing? How do I incrementally achieve? The best way to eat an elephant is one bite at a time. And I've got to realize the timing of doing things. That requires awareness of things. And if you time things wrong, something that's really good product or service or opportunity or value proposition wouldn't stick. And if you time it right, something that's imperfect would stick. So timing, I would say, is another one. Another thing is trust.
oh
I
wow.
think that one of the greatest things that I've been blessed to have is the trust of people. And trust is gained and can be lost very, very quickly.
And when it's lost, it's no way that it can come back.
And it doesn't come, it
It
doesn't
doesn't
come,
return.
it doesn't come like this. It comes
With
by
time.
proving yourself, by doing, and it's a three-way trust, by the way. The first thing is you have to trust yourself. It's not a two-way trust. It's a three-way trust. First, you have to trust yourself. Then you have to be able to trust others. And then they would put their trust in you.
Oh wow.
And then they would put their trust in you. And trust is critical in success. I've had occasions where I wanted to buy a company, or I've had cash flow issues. I needed money for doing something. And it's been with one phone call that I've said, I need X. And this is in millions. And they've said, I'll send you a check now. Didn't ask why, didn't ask how, didn't ask how you're going to give it back to me. It's that trust. The trust is absolutely critical, and it's got to be consistent. You have to be with it. You have to stay on it. You have to deliver it. It's ongoing every day, every action that you take.
It's who you are.
It's who you are. So I would say trust has given me um a lot of what I have achieved is based on trust. And I would recommend for people not fake trust, real trust. And the thing is, it begins with you trusting yourself.
Hmm.
And that goes back to what I was saying is based on achievability, based on being true to yourself. Sometimes people make this thing out of themselves. Oh, I could be this and I'm this. And no, I'm imperfect and it's okay. But I trust my imperfection. I
Hmm.
trust what I'm capable of doing and I would do it. But if I know that I'm not that, I just have a facade of presenting something, but I can't deliver it, the first one who wouldn't trust in me is me. Because I know I'm faking it.
Exactly. Yeah.
So that's I think that's
How about the
four.
people that say build trust? Trust doesn't get built. It's who you are, no?
Trust gets built.
Is it? It builds
Trust
with
gets
time,
built.
right?
Trust. See, you trust in people, people trust in you.
And
It's
that
a
gets building up little by little, right?
correct. So
Hmm.
you have to
So the
gain
term is
it.
correct
It's
then.
it's up to people. So first of all, when I'm saying three-way trust, the first thing is you have to trust yourself. Okay. The second is you trust others. You trust people who work with you. You trust the opinion of them. You trust the customers. You trust your employees. You trust that they are good people, that they can. But now you have to give them the right kind of reasoning, and then they would it's like a interest that when you go put your money in the bank they call it a compounding interest.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
This is a compounding effect of trust.
I
When you trust in yourself
understand.
and you trust in people, and when they put their trust in you, there is no return on that trust. There is amazingly compounding in your success.
Yeah.
Amazing, amazing.
That's a
but
great advice.
but it's earned. It's not faked. I just
You
want
have
to.
to
It's
build it,
earned.
yeah?
You have to be genuine. You have to realize who you are. You have to work hard at it, and you have to realize your limitation, and then first begin with trusting yourself.
And,
The
and
last thing I think is I don't have any regrets, Harry.
that's your last step, no regrets.
No regrets. Um, and that comes, I think, from a learning mindset. Um, I believe that creativity, and by the way, I believe change is our best friend. It's not the enemy. It's not,
Hmm.
it doesn't have to be managed. It has to be embraced. It has
And
to
not
be named.
only, not always you have success, yeah?
It has to be, see, why do I say change is your best friend? Because it's the only friend that gives you options to choose from. Sameness doesn't give you options. Things have to change for you to have a new options to choose from. You get to the corner of a street, you can turn right or you can turn left. If you could only turn left, there wouldn't be any change, there wouldn't be any choice. You're done. So change is a great thing, but you have to be able to learn from things in order to embrace change. I don't agree with these people who say fail often, fail fast. That's stupid. Nobody should fail. Nobody should look for failing. You
Diminish
should
the
look
risk,
for
yeah.
learning. Learn often, learn fast. And I can learn from you. I can learn from everybody. I can learn from a book. I can learn from my own actions. But I've got to always be in the learning mode. And if I'm
Yeah,
learning, then there's no regret. I didn't do
yeah.
anything to
Yeah,
regret.
I understand you 100%. I think that once I opened a restaurant here in London, Brick Lane, and I lost over 200,000. And I remember when I closed the restaurant, I was having this regret, like, oh, I took a very bad decision. I shouldn't open this restaurant. Lost a lot of money, X, Y, and Z. But during the times I realized that this restaurant was the best master in business and administration, the best MBA of my life. Because I learned more in that restaurant and, like you said, develop all the skills. Working, I had to work 2 years without stopping, and that hard work is developed some skills especially in the restaurant, you need to know a lot of skill more than in another business. Actually, it was the best master of business and MBA than I ever had. So it's how you look at things, because
It's how you look at things. It is how you look at things. Harry,
and the
I'm on a
mindset
board
is
of a.
important, because when you
Yeah.
don't have experience, like I remember that I'm talking, the restaurant was maybe, I don't know, 10 years ago. But I remember back then I was young, and I was like beating myself up. I said, wow, what a stupid idea to
Harry, you were
open
younger.
this
You weren't
restaurant.
young. You weren't young. You were younger. Now you're young. You were younger. Everything is relative, huh?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
So I'm on a board of a company, Harry, just to reemphasize what you're saying. I'm on a board of a company, and they were doing a big $2.5 million project, and they thought they had it, and all of a sudden they didn't get it.
Oh, wow.
It was devastating to them, and we were talking, and I said, I think this is the best thing that happened to you.
Hmm.
And the lady who's the CEO, she said, "What are you talking about? This is miserable." I said, "You'll see." Because you were getting arrogant. You thought that we're all that and a bag of chips, and you stopped selling, you stopped improving, you stopped doing this. Now, this is going to change you.
Hmm.
After about 2 months, she called me yesterday morning. And she said, "Sid, you were absolutely right. We have 5 different clients. Collectively, they're bigger. They're in different industries, and
Wow.
we're going to be doing well." That losing that project gave us the
Strength,
initiative, the kick
yeah.
in the butt to go, to move, to act, to change, to evolve. So sometimes, and that's how you look at things, as opposed to
In a
regretting.
negative
Nobody
way.
likes to lose, but okay, we've lost. Now what?
Yeah. There is, I mean, there is always a learning, right? And you can, if you see dramatic, but if you see all as it's a learning experience, and what can you improve, yeah, and what are the lessons, I think that the outcome could be amazing. And I think I'm glad that you wrote the book about mindset of the entrepreneur, because I think that the 80% is on the mind of the entrepreneur. The mind is especially when you're running a business, uh, thousands of thoughts pass through your mind, and you have to take a lot of decisions, and sometimes your friends are telling you, "You crazy, don't do this," and your parents, and you have your surrounding, and on top of that you battle with clients, with pros, with everything.
Yeah. So
And
Harry, my books are both bestsellers.
wow,
The second one was actually a bestseller both in philosophy and in business.
wow, really?
Yeah, but but
Wow.
but here's the thing. The thing that really I appreciate is I have heard this from a number of people that they've read the book once, and then 6 months later they go back to it and they say, "I learned something new." The reason is because it's not how to. We're used to reading books that say how to do this. And okay, there's step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're not them, we're not. But I think the value of learning comes from where you are. So if you read something once and you get A out of it, then you are a different person, and your perspective and experience and all that makes you a different person. So when you revisit something and you learn something new, is because you have evolved and you've,
You
right?
grow,
You
you
have
grow,
grown. So one
especially.
thing that I'm against, and it may sound again, I know a lot of early entrepreneurs. There's a lot of stuff about this vision board and stuff like that. That is, put your vision about the goals and stuff, write it down, blah blah blah, and then follow it. Here's my question to you, Harry. Do you trust the decisions that you made when you were 18 years old? You had certain amount of experience, and you made your decisions based on those
On that
18 years
experience,
old
yeah.
experience. It's like having a lab report that you did 5 years ago, and now you're trying to solve your headache based on the lab report of 5 years ago. It doesn't make any sense. The visions that you had when you were 18 or 19 or 20 are based on the experiences and the knowledge that you had then. Our visions have to evolve all the time based on the experience, the knowledge, the know-how, the learnings that we have, based on the environment. The business of 20 years ago is not the same as today. The environment, the customers, what they want, what they expect, all of that is always changing. This is a changing world. So a business is kind of like running a symphony. You're a conductor that has to harmonize all of these reasons. The customers who needed X are now need Y. The reasons have changed. The employees, the investors, all of these are always changing. So as an entrepreneur, you really have to, as a leader, be able to be more of a conductor to realize and act.
Yeah, but how you find yourself in times of adversity? How you find this calm? Because to conduct an orchestra, you have to be calm, and we're going to the point again about the mindset of the entrepreneur, right? So how you manage to keep calm when the storm was around?
So those goes back to some of the stuff we talked about. First is trust. So I used to have a firm, and we used to do turnaround. So I would buy companies and turn them around and whatever. And I had a partner in that business, Dan Straub, and he used to tell me, Sid, you take off the plane without having built the landing gears. And he was right. I do that because I trust in myself that I can build the landing gears. Right? So when I'm saying you have to realize your limitations, you also have to have a trust in yourself and be open to change. That means, okay, I may not be able to land, so I set the course so I can land on ocean. I have that plan that if it didn't work, I could do that. So this ability of seeing the world as not fixed, it's not my plan, it's what evolves into that plan. Entrepreneurship is about the changes that happen all the time.
So be flexible, right?
Yes, I've made investments in a lot of companies. At one point, I ran the largest angel investment entity in the United States. I
Wow.
probably saw 3,000 deals a year. Now,
Wow.
I have not, to this date, after 30, 40 years of experience, seen a single business plan, one out of all of them that I've seen, that it succeeded the exact way it was written. Never seen one. Now, there may be one. I've never seen one. Right? So this ability to be able to see the timing, to be able to see the change, to be able to embrace the
And to
change,
adapt to it.
flexible.
Yeah.
To be flexible is key.
So do you find the people around you now, when we have COVID, that it was a huge resistance of people to change and to be flexible?
There is a resistance to change a lot of time, in a lot of places, and it's not because people are dumb. Let me explain this to you. So in 1957, the S&P 500 was created. S&P 500. So that's almost 70 years ago. Okay, 67 years ago. If you look at it, and this data is maybe 2-3 years old, 85% of those companies that were S&P 500, they picked the best companies, the best CEOs, the best products, these were the cream of the crop, the best. 85% of those companies do not exist anymore. In 67 years. So what happened to them? And the other 15%, only 2% are doing better than the average S&P returns. Only 2%. What happened to these people? These were pretty
Only
smart
50
people.
years, yeah.
They were the best companies. They had great ideas. They had the best CEOs. They had traction. They were way over $1 million mark. Right? They were billion-dollar companies. What happened? This is addiction to sameness. They thought what they were doing and they were successful, that should stick to them, and that's what's going to keep them successful. But the world changes. It's like, this is what I'm saying about an orchestra. You could play a symphony from Beethoven, or you could play Rihanna's, song. They're different, but for the time, for the audience, they're both required. They're both beautiful. They're both fantastic. So if you try to play the same tune over and over where the audience is not listening to it and they don't care, you become a BlackBerry replaced by an Apple.
Exactly.
You become a Kodak, gone with digital stuff. You become a Blockbuster in the United States, replaced by Netflix. Now, these are big examples, but what happens is,
So what
it's
happened is that
happening
the
all over
structure
the
of this
world in
company, they
fast
were
fashion.
not flexible enough to adapt to change, right?
To see that change is actually their friend, it's not their enemy.
Exactly.
Change is not their enemy, it's their friend. It's the only friend that, now there is a danger. Let me tell you, I recently wrote an article about this. There is a danger. Some people, when I say, hey, change is your friend, then they get confused, because change also can be the devil. Here's what I
And can
mean.
put you in the wrong path, yeah?
No, sometimes people want to change all the time, so they don't let things settle. They don't see the outcome of a choice. They're just changing for the sake of changing. This doesn't work. Okay, let me go do that. They're trying to get fast through some change. Requires to settle. It's like planting a seed. You're required to give it water. You're required to take care of it, and then it comes back, and then you can change a little bit here and a little bit there. But the fact that I'm saying change is your friend, it could also tempt you like the devil to
Yeah, you
change
need
all
you
the
need to keep
time.
it tight. You need to keep
You
it
need to keep
tight and
it
see the
and
result, and
focus
then
and
you can.
realize your limitation, realize the timing of the market, realize all of that stuff in order for it to be your friend. Sometimes it gives you too many options.
Yeah. So, see, what would be the last message that you have for everyone that is listening right now, and or looking at watching us in social media, that they have this drive. At the beginning, you spoke about being an entrepreneur. It comes with you. There is something within you that is already there, and is gonna happen sometime early or later in your life, but they think it's not going anywhere because it's within you. So what is the last message that you can share with all those people that they are listening and they know that they have that entrepreneur within you, but they need a little bit of encouragement, they need a little bit, they are maybe confused, they don't know which product they want to choose, they don't know if they should do it now or later. What is the message that you
Okay,
have
so
for?
let me divide that into a few things. First of all, if you're questioning if you're an entrepreneur or you're not an entrepreneur, here's the thing I would ask you to do. Start looking at the choices you're making. Start the simple choices. You want to go grocery shopping, go to the corner store, and then what? Do you go to this grocery shopping or that one? And why do you choose that one over this one? Is it the cost? Is it the price? And then stop and realize that you are making a choice and you're exchanging your time and effort, your money or whatever, with something bigger. That's the first exercise I would say. That would tell you that you are actually an entrepreneur. You just have to realize that you're an entrepreneur. The second is, you have to be your authentic self. That's how you decide what do you like to exchange for this, buy this entrepreneurial ability for what? What is of higher value to you? You could be a great social entrepreneur. You could do whatever you wish. If you want to work at a place, it's okay to work at a place and still be an entrepreneur,
Yeah,
because you're
yeah.
getting money and you are actually bringing that money and spending it on your kids, like your parents as teachers. They brought that money and they exchanged your happiness for the time and effort that they put in at school. They made a choice. And For that reason, they could be happy. So satisfaction is key. So first, look at what the entrepreneurship exchangeability is that you have. And second, you have to be your authentic self. And when it comes to business, I would strongly recommend, as opposed to focusing on outcomes, $1 million is nothing. You could do 10 times that. You could do 100 times that if you figure out the reasons. If you figure out what the reason is that people choose to buy something or engage with you, they will engage with you. Provide that choice. If you realize what it is that you provide your staff, what their reasonings are, they will work with you. They will be productive. They will go over the moon for you. It's not about the outcome. It's not about $1 million or $10 million. It's about what people want and the reasonings they engage with you. You figure that out, you're going to have a great business.
And on that note, we're going to end up our podcast, and we want to thank you so much, Sid, for your words of wisdom. Yeah, today we have a luxury, masterclass from a university teacher about business and about life in general, because we talk about life also and how to be fulfilled, because not all about business. Yeah, we want to arrive to have our business, but we also want to be healthy, right? We have to have the energy like you to still going on and go on teaching at the university, right? So I want to thank you so much for
Thank you for having
your
me,
great
Harry.
contribution. Yeah, can you please share again the name of your books and where they can find them in Amazon? So if
Sure.
everyone, I strongly recommend you guys to read the mindset book. Anything that you can read in mindset if you want to be an entrepreneur is good content to consume all the time.
Yeah, that's the second book, which is called You Are Not Them. It's a
You are
very
not them.
simple title. You are not them.
Yeah,
The
short.
authentic
Yeah,
way
very
to
good. And
entrepreneurship.
this one, where is it? In Amazon? Where can
Yeah,
they
it's
get?
on Amazon. Yeah, you can get it for audio or digital or hard copy, whichever one you want, and
You are
it's
not them.
everywhere.
And the other book, what's the name?
The Caterpillar's Edge.
Caterpillar's Edge, also in
Yeah, the
Amazon.
Caterpillar's Edge, which that one is about getting rid of the addictions, of the sameness, and also aligning with unpredictability. Aligning with
Any
unpredictability.
future books that you have in plans to write?
Well,
I love to write books. Yes, it's like a gym for the
it's
mind.
hard. It's a hard thing to do.
Oh, it's like having a baby. Yeah, and very difficult to let go.
It's
Yeah, I wrote several myself. It's the books after you write them, then it's very difficult to let them go. You want to
yeah,
to still hold on to it.
that's correct.
So
That's correct.
yeah. But it's good. It's good to. I think that again we talk about fulfillment. The best thing that we can do with our knowledge, with our experience, is to share it. And if we can at least inspire someone for our work, for our legacy we have done in life, that's the most amazing feeling that a human being
Yeah,
can have.
I think as a last word, I know that you have been kind enough and humbled me with your kind words, and people have listened. But the key thing is not what I have done that matters. It's what all of your audience can do that matters. Because
With that
that's the
content.
future of building, of creating, and that's what matters to me, not what I've done.
Fantastic. Yeah. Thank you so much. And for all of you listening, see you in the next episode. How successful entrepreneurs thrive and achieve the first million in sales, the good, the bad, the ugly, and the funny. And today we have the amazing company for the professor Sid. We have give us a masterclass in business and in life. Bye for now. See you next time.
Follow us for more interviews with world's most influential, audacious entrepreneurs that overcame challenges and adversity, providing you with the blueprint of how they sold their first million so you can grow your business exponentially.